What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sirr Love from Phase 6. Here's another snippet from Chasing Greatness. See, hold on, we got a message here. This looks interesting. Let's see what's happening in Arizona. I sent the message off and Jamieka sent me a reply saying, would like to know how to maximize on features with big name artists. My artist currently has a feature with Razkaz, Joel Ortiz, and well-known artists here in Arizona named Futuristic. Also, creative ways we can build on the fan base that we have and use them to get more fans. Well-known artists here in Arizona. Sorry for the mistype. I don't know what else to do. However, I do know that if we can get things going in the right direction, he would do really good. His music is really good. Let's check out Jamieka. Let's see what Jamieka's talking about. Let's just do it. Let's see what's going on here. Let me call and figure out the vibes. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello, man. Speaking Jamieka.
This is her.
What's going on, Jamieka? This is Sirr Love from Phase 6. How you feeling?
Oh, how you doing? I'm doing good.
I am amazing. I appreciate you reaching out and replying to the message.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you.
Likewise, it has been. Now, I'm sitting here questioning. Have you and I spoken in the past, Jamieka?
Yeah, we have. I had a consultation with you before about the artist that I work with. I think it was probably last year.
Last year, I remember when I was doing the consultations before. Man, I was just, we've gotten away from those, but I do remember them.
It on your website.
Got it. Yeah. You had an artist by the name of Gold Rush, right? Wait, no, they were booked for the Gold Rush Festival, right?
Yeah.
The Gold Rush Festival.
Jr.
Got it. Well, how are things going? It sounds like you got a whole new artist now. You're doing a whole different thing. Is that the case?
No, so it's the same artist. Well, the artist it's my husband, and I basically I help him with social media, with marketing, and coming up with ideas and creative ways, or when we do shows. So it's I basically help him with everything, or help him with reaching out to people, and we were just trying to figure out as far as being more creative and finding other avenues to push us to the next level, because I feel right now we're at a stump, but at the same time there's still good things happening. So he just recently did he got a feature from Joel Ortiz, and then he got a feature from Razkaz. I believe he's he's an older rapper, but he's still pretty relevant in his lane. And Futuristic, which is here in Arizona, he's he's a big name here in Arizona, and that song's really dope. So in the song that he has with Joel Ortiz and Futuristic is really dope, and we're just trying to figure out how to maximize on the features and also maximize on the fan base that we currently have, but being creative, because can't do shows right now because of what's going on with COVID and everything, and I feel I'm kind of out of my creative ideas.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot lately. So what's the name of the artist?
Ali Cassius Jr.
Ali Cassius Jr.
You want me to spell it?
Can you? I'm sitting here just freestyle. No, I think I got Ali, A-L-I. Cassius.
Yep, and then Cassius, like Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. C-A-S-S-I-U-S.
All right, Brother Ali, Joel Ortiz. All right. So the record isn't immediately popping up as I look it up.
It's No Justice, No Peace.
No Justice, No Peace.
Yeah, that song's actually pretty dope. And Joel Ortiz, he's signed with Eminem. He's with that whole Eminem and Royce the 5'9" and all of them.
All right.
So he has like a little relationship with him that he just started.
So here's my first question: how did you get them on the record? Did you pay them to be on the record?
Yeah, he paid. So we paid Joel Ortiz by just reaching out, because we reached out to a few artists and like didn't hear anything back, and then we finally heard something back from Joel Ortiz. We had already had the feature from Razzcast and Futuristic, which Razzcast, he actually like got a feature just through like conversation and him coming to Arizona and through like connections and people that he know. So they kind of like had a conversation, hung out at the club and VIP, and then they kind of like went from there. And then Joel Ortiz, he responded, after we reached out. And then he was like, he actually negotiated with us to like, for a reasonable price for the feature, which was within our budget. And then from there, he kind of like built a little relationship where they like, exchange like words back and forth regarding the record. Joel Ortiz letting him know, like, he basically told him like, this is a story. Like, he's like, this is the first time I've ever told this story. I just want to let you know. And he decided to put it on his album, the album with him. So that was pretty dope. And just keeping that line of communication open. So, and then he also was promoting it on his social media, which you don't really see a lot of artists do that do features. They'll promote based on how much you pay, but he didn't pay for, I thought that was like, he was a genuinely good person to do that extra.
Yeah, that was love. That was love.
Yeah,
that was love. So we don't even want to put too much attention around that, because that, he ain't going around giving favors out like that to everybody. It was love. There was a good vibe. The record was where it needed to be. Plus, when it's time to do the video, he can come back and cap on the video to be in the video or not, depending on the energy, right? So a lot of artists will do that and come back and cap on the video. And of course, you want to make sure the record is properly sanctioned. Otherwise, the label can pull it down later, which is a whole different thing. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the question in hand, which is about exposure. How do we get exposure? Okay, I got the feature. I dropped the bread. I dropped the bag. I did the networking. I did the relationship to get the feature. Now what do I do? Well, the thing about this is what the feature does. Let me explain to you the value of a feature, because I don't think people understand what they're trying to do when they do it, right? So the purpose of a feature is to do two things. One is to lessen the burden of the gatekeeper, right? So there are people that you're going to go to where you're going to ask for support. Knowing that you have a feature on the record will increase the chances that they'll give you the support. Previously, historically, that was, I'm going to the radio, I want them to play my record. The chances that they will play it will increase if I have a solid feature on the record, right? Especially if that feature is hot at the time. Other gatekeepers could be bloggers, PR, press, events, promoters, booking agents. There's just a lot of different areas where someone else's name can provide leverage and credibility to what you're looking to do. All right, so you got that part. Boom, stamped. Got it. All right, the next thing is that you have the opportunity to bleed over into their fan base. Their fans will come to listen to the record just to hear Joel Ortiz, or I think he said Joey Badass. Is that who he said in Futuristic? Or he said Razzcast. I'm sorry, Razzcast and Futuristic or whatever. So like, all these different artists, their fans will come to hear the record, or they'll just, because of the algorithms today, the playlist or whatever will, naturally refer this record, and your artist gets heard, and people start saying, who is that? So you have the opportunity to get fan bleed over, right? Which is the beautiful part of it. Now, all of these are great things. Basically, what you did is you supercharged your record. But at the end of the day, it's still a record. And in order to make the record move, you got to have a dope visual. You have to put money behind the visual to make sure that people see the visual. You have to have a strategic plan in order to capture data from all the people that are seeing the visual. You have to have money to push the record itself on playlisting platforms, on radio platforms, on blogs, or whatever else that you can get it on, so you can get more exposure for it. You're in an exposure chase. An exposure chase costs capital. The best way to, you've already put features on it, so the record's going to go further than it naturally would just because of what you've added to it, right? You put it on steroids. So the record's going to do, so if you had 10 bands, you put 10 bands, let's say 10 bands got you a 10% return, which is, this makes no logical sense. I'm just trying to get you to understand metrics. Let's say the record, was cost 10 bands, got you a 10% return. We're not talking about return on money or anything specific, like just return on, what you were looking for, 10% more fans or whatever, right? By putting all these features on there, maybe the record gives you 20, 30, maybe even, 40, maybe like 20, maybe 12, 15, maybe 30, whatever percent increase instead of the 10, right? However, if only 1,000 people hear it, the record without those features, would have gotten you what? 1,000 plus 10%, right? 1,000,
yeah,
right? Now that you got them on it, it gives you, 1,100. Now you got them on it, it gives you 1,000, 1,200, right? So it increases the value of the return on the record. When you only are allowing, when you're only touching it at a small scale, it doesn't mean much. So again, the record in a natural state, let's say it had a 10% return. You put the record out there, 1,000 people heard it, no features, came back, you got 1,100 return out of that. You put features on it, now you're getting 1,300 return on it because it was 30% instead of 10. Well, 1,100 people hearing your record versus 1,300 people hearing your record really isn't a big deal in your mind. But when you do that at a scale of 1 million, that difference becomes 1.1 million versus 1.3 million. Now that's a 200,000 person difference. We're just talking impressions. We're just talking about people that are seeing the record. 10 million people see it. That's 11 million versus 13 million. So what's basically happening is, and this could be very confusing because I'm not using any real metrics or numbers here. I'm just trying to show you that what has in turn happened is your record is quantifiably more valuable with the features than it is without them. However, that value is exponentially related to the exposure that it gets. So the more exposure that you get on that record, the more valuable that feature is. The less exposure you get on that record, the less value that feature is. So if you're not pumping that record, then that feature was a waste of money, because you're not maximizing the return on the feature. You feel me? I said a lot to confuse the shit out of everybody that's probably listening to this right now.
No, you're getting it though. I get it, because so far what we did was we paid for somebody to review it, which they have almost 20,000 followers on their own.
That's
and
good.
They're legit. And then we had it featured in a couple of blogs, and there were even some blogs that because they liked his music, they picked it up without him even knowing.
Yep.
It was I think it was Reddit. He didn't even know that they picked it up. And what else? We did the blog, the review, and then we did press releases too. But I feel like we're still not seeing the results that we want.
Are you playlisting? Are you playlisting?
But I don't know, if we need to, huh?
Are you playlisting?
No, we haven't playlisted.
Yep.
It's so hard to get it.
No,
so hard.
not. It's not.
We tried it before.
No, it's hard to get on the big playlist. I just talked about this on the last episode. I'm gonna do it again. Instead of making you wait for the next, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it from a playlisting perspective. I did it about blogging. It's the same shit. Right? The concept is this: people at the top, and I'm gonna run through it quickly because you're gonna be able to catch it on another episode that's getting ready to come out. People at the top are disconnected from people at the bottom. Just because as you grow in the game, you just naturally get disconnected. You live a different lifestyle, you have a different culture, you're just disconnected. The shit that's happening on the block, you no longer know when you Diddy, right? You don't know, right?
Right.
So there are a lot of levels between on the block and Diddy, right? So you get lost with what's happening on the block way before you get to Diddy, okay? So I say all this to say that the playlisters at the top have no idea what the fuck is hot. Rap Caviar, they don't know what the fuck is hot. They don't know. You know how they find out what's hot? They find out what's hot by what's bubbling up underneath them. And it's their job to keep their hands on the pulse of what's. So if you want to get to the top, you need to beat every contender on the way up. This is a boxing match. You start at the bottom. What is the easiest playlist that I can get on that does hip hop? I want to be on all of them. And I want to crush it. I want to be the dopest record on all those playlists. And then next thing you know, the playlist at the next level are like, yo, that record must be hot. You start talking to them. Yo, put me on. Look what I'm doing here. And they put you on. And then some people start putting you on just because. Then the algorithm starts working. The algorithm starts supporting you. And then you start pushing yourself for higher records. And how do you get in contact with these playlists? Do you know what a playlist is? I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6. Check us out at www.phasevi.com. Again, that's www.phasevi.com. Beam in.